Suffolk School Superintendent is the state's Superintendent of the Year. The Virginia Association of School Superintendents gave John Gordon the top honor this year, calling him a proven advocate for children.
He came in with a passion and a purpose to be the superintendent, no matter what, because he knew what we needed. He did his homework. He did his SOLs. And he got perfect on it, you know what I'm saying? He was the student and he was valedictorian of all that interviewed for Suffolk Public Schools.
To me, my mission has always been to be able to put Suffolk Public Schools on the map. If you go back to when Ms. Barham, who was the school board chair when she hired me, she talked about how Dr. Gordon was a visionary. And we have accomplished so many things in the last 6.5 years. We could actually do more if people will understand the importance of supporting and not critiquing.
So I was the first chief to be hired as chief academic officer, and I'm honored that he chose me and allows me to lead in my work. He is very visionary, very creative. So if he sees something, we're going to do it. For example, the STEM book that we wrote, the documentary that followed that was all his vision in discussing how the pandemic impacted our students, their learning, and the STEM field. A lot of that was negatively impacted during the height of the pandemic.
Like when he first came, I don't know if you know, when his first year here, he incorporated the Chromebooks like for every student. And it was like almost like he had a vision when he first came in, and we ended up needing it like months later because COVID came. So it was like he already came with a vision. It was like he just already knew what we needed.
How Dr. Gordon's leadership has impacted the schools, especially John Yates Middle School, is he lives with us in the schools. He partners with us. He doesn't lead from downtown. He leads in the schools with us. He helps create a culture of trust where we can communicate with him, and he listens to our students, he listens to us.
I want someone to be happy, because if you're happy, your team is happy. If your team is happy, your staff is happy. If your staff is happy, your kids are happy. If your kids are happy, the school community is happy. The school community is happy, I'm happy.
Our support system is wide, even with family and school. It's a wonderful thing to have people or leaders that are here to help us and help us thrive through the tough times.
It really makes me feel like they care about us as people. They're not just saying whatever they want to say to appease our parents or the staff or the faculty. They actually show that they mean what they say and that they want to do the best for us, and they want us to do the best we can.
When I found out that Dr. Gordon won the Superintendent of the Year for the state of Virginia, I was very proud as a parent of students that attend Suffolk Public Schools, because that shows that our leader is one that sets the tone for not just the city of Suffolk or even Hampton Roads area, but statewide.
Well, he first sent us a picture of the award. And in that moment, I was confused because I knew he was the Region 2 Superintendent of the Year. So I paused and I said, this says Virginia Superintendent of the Year. I was ecstatic.
To me, getting Virginia Superintendent of the Year outspeaks any criticism, that is being spoken, because since he's been in Suffolk, I've noticed a difference.
Without his leadership, we may not be where we are. So it's everything that he is doing is for Suffolk Public Schools, is for our kids.
Dr. Gordon, you've made a great impact. Keep doing what you've been doing. You've helped us, you've thrived for us, not only have we learned here at our schools, but we have learned how to be a better version of us.
Dr. Gordon, I would like to say congratulations for becoming Superintendent of the Year. We couldn't have picked a better one, and I'm proud to have worked with you for the past 4 years.
Dr. Gordon, I want to say congratulations on becoming Virginia Superintendent of the Year. If anyone deserves this honor, it is you.
Your ability to lead sets the tone of the greatness that is within Suffolk Public Schools, and I'm grateful to be a part of the Suffolk Public Schools family.
Thank you, Virginia Superintendent of the Year, Dr. John B. Gordon III. Congratulations, sir.
Dr. Gordon, congratulations on being named Virginia Superintendent of the Year. This recognition reflects the hard work taking place across Suffolk Public Schools each and every day by our teachers, staff, administrators, and students. We appreciate your leadership and commitment to our division. On behalf of the Suffolk School Board, congratulations on this well-deserved honor.
And I just want to say congratulations, Dr. John B. Gordon III. You have done the work. You have made sure you're educated yourself, and you have produced what others just dream to produce. And I'm just so happy that you're a part of Suffolk Public Schools. Congratulations. And this is not the end. You're going even higher.
It's always been about making Suffolk Public Schools the premier school division, not only in Virginia, but the entire country. And now, because of the work that we've done, the exposure that we've gained because of our innovation, and just trying to be able to be on the cutting edge of what we're doing. We have some upcoming AI work that we're going to be working on, and being able to use what we've done to not only show a plan of action when it comes to new school performance and support framework, but to continue to make sure that our staff has everything they need, our kids are enjoying coming to school, everyone understands about the importance of a dynamic learning environment, and to have this two-way communication that we have with our school community.
I want to thank all of you all for what you do. I want to thank you for what you do. For the long hours, for some things that are not in the job description, for what you do to make your departments work well, for what you do to make your schools work well, how y'all take care of each other, but most importantly, how you take care of your kids. I want to thank you for what you do. Please give yourselves a round of applause.
Jolentine SPS. Good morning.
Good evening, everyone. I call this meeting, our July 9th, 2026 meeting to order. At this time, will you guys please stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Board Member Slingleff. Thank you, Board Member Slingleff. At this time, will you join us for a moment of silence? Thank you. At this time, I'm going to ask Board Member Fields, would you please read off the mission of Suffolk Public Schools?
The mission of Suffolk Public Schools is to produce 21st century learners that will become productive citizens in society, foster a dynamic, safe, and nurturing learning environment, partner with school community for the benefit of students and staff, strengthen the school division by employing a highly qualified and diverse staff, effectively and efficiently manage capital and human resources, effectively communicate to increase community investment.
Thank you, Board Member Fields. At this time, is there a motion to approve the agenda for this evening?
I move that to approve the agenda by adding a second topic for discussion and consideration in a closed meeting regarding the appointment of Darlene Gaboski and Dwayne Hoffler Foster to serve on the Gifted Education Advisory Committee, and Shaleel Nicholson to serve on the Local Advisory Committee for Special Education.
All right, right now we have a motion on the floor made by Board Member Fields, seconded by Vice Chair Howell. Is there any discussion before we're ready to vote? Board Member Slingleff?
I was just curious if this is actually something under FOIA that can be discussed in a closed session, or if this needs to be a public discussion.
It is an appropriate topic for a closed meeting because it involves the appointee of specific individuals to serve.
Thank you, Attorney Waller. Ms. Gardner, did you catch that entire thing? All right. If there's no further discussion, Madam Clerk, we're ready to vote.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingleff?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell? Yes. Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, moving on. We have no citizens on agenda topics this evening. At this time, I'm going to turn the floor over to Superintendent Dr. Gordon for the good news report.
Thank you, Chair McGee. I'm going to call to the podium Mr. Melvin Bradshaw from the Communications and Community Engagement Department to provide our good news report, which will include recognition of our GED graduates, the Nansemond River High School Class 5 Girls Outdoor Track Team, Nansemond River also finishing in the National Guard Cup standings, Lakeland High School being recognized for the Claudia Dotson Stay in the Game Awards, our SBS Fine Arts teachers being selected by the VDOE, our STAR Student Summer Intern Program, highlights from our Suffolk Public Schools themes of America 250, as well as our Food Nutrition Services Community Food Bank Partnership events. This will also include a special presentation by HES, our grounds and custodial partner, and then I will close out with a calendar of special events. Mr. Bradshaw?
Okay. Good evening, Board Chair McGee, Vice Chair Howell, school board members, and Dr. Gordon. Tonight, we congratulate the Suffolk Public Schools class of 2026 GED graduates. Earning your GED is no small accomplishment. It represents hard work, resilience, and the courage to pursue your goals, no matter the challenges along the way. We are incredibly proud of each of our graduates and excited to see all that they will accomplish next. Their journey is proof that success comes from many forms, and this achievement is just the beginning. At this time, I'd like to say congratulations to the 2026 Nansemond River High School track athletes who are also Class 5 state champions. At this time, I'm going to call your name to come up to the front. If you'll come up here to the front area and face the audience. I'm going to start with the boys track state champions. Mason Mills. John Cody. Right here. William Hampton. Timothy McFarland. And Aaron Williams, Jr. That's all the guys. Yes, sir.
You guys want to come in the center? Right here.
And now for the girls' state track champions. Anathalia Augustine. Audrina Chu. Autumn Ellis. Brianna Speller. Gabriella Pagan Aubrey. Jasmine Gaines, Calais Willis, Lauren Harris, London Smith, Madison Veal, Melanie Garza, McKaylin Rose, Micaiah Johnson, Nevaeh Cheney, Simone Ellis, and Tindiana Meeks. Micaiah Johnson. Mm-hmm.
Some of the coaches are also here. You guys want to come mind join us for a picture, please? I'm gonna put you guys in the middle. So I'm gonna open that shirt up. We gotta show that logo. There's rules. Fix your face, girl.
Tonight, we're also proud to recognize Nansemond River High School for outstanding achievement that reflects excellence across athletics, academics, and sportsmanship. Nansemond River High School has earned a seventh place finish in the Virginia High School League National Guard Cup standings for the 2025-26 school year. Established in 1990, the Virginia High School League National Cup Guard, or Guard Cup, is one of the Commonwealth's highest honors for overall school achievement. Each year, 6 cups are awarded across the Virginia High School League's 6 enrollment classifications to recognize schools that demonstrate excellence in both academic and athletic state championship competitions. Nansemond River High School's impressive top 10 finish is a testament to the dedication, perseverance, and talent of its student athletes, coaches, sponsor, and school leadership. Congratulations. We are proud to recognize Lakeland High School for earning 2 prestigious honors from the Virginia High School League, the Claudia Dotson Sportsmanship, Ethics, and Integrity Award, and the Stay in the Game Award. The Claudia Dotson Award recognizes schools that have established a culture where sportsmanship, ethical behavior, integrity, and respect are foundational to their athletic and extracurricular programs. This distinguished honor reflects Lakeland High School's commitment to fostering positive character, responsible leadership, and model conduct among students, coaches, staff, and spectators. Lakeland High School also received the Virginia High School League Stay in the Game Award, which recognizes schools that promote positive sportsmanship and encourage spectators to support student athletes through respectful and encouraging behavior. Together, these statewide recognitions highlight Lakeland High School's dedication to creating a positive, inclusive environment where character and integrity are valued as highly as athletic achievement. Congratulations to Lakeland High School. Four exceptional Suffolk Public Schools fine art educators have been selected by the Virginia Department of Education to participate in the inaugural Fine Arts Teacher Leadership Program. This prestigious statewide program brings together outstanding fine arts educators who have demonstrated excellence in teaching, leadership, and a commitment to advancing fine arts education across the Commonwealth. Representing Suffolk Public Schools are Michael Parham, art teacher at Elephants Fork Elementary School, Jamie Hockaday, art teacher at Creekside Elementary School, Hannah Aline Malik Miller, art teacher at Kings Fork High School, and Sarah Patton, art teacher at Kings Fork High School. Participation in this inaugural leadership cohort provides these educators with opportunities to collaborate with colleagues from across Virginia, strengthening their leadership skills and help shape the future of fine arts education through professional learning and statewide collaboration. We congratulate these outstanding educators for well-deserved recognition. We're pleased to recognize the continued success of the STAR Student Summer Intern Program, which is entering its third year providing meaningful career-focused opportunities for Suffolk Public School students. The program offers students the opportunity to gain valuable hands-on experience by working alongside professionals in departments across the division, allowing them to develop workplace skills, explore career entrance, and build professional confidence. Now in its third year, the STAR Student Summer Intern Program continues to strengthen Suffolk Public Schools' commitment to preparing students for success beyond graduation by connecting classroom learning with real-world experiences. We extend our sincere appreciation to the departments, mentors, and staff members who invest in these students each summer, helping them develop the knowledge, skills, and experiences needed to become future leaders in our schools, community, and workforce. A special thank you to Dr. Andre Skinner and his team for all the work that they do to ensure our students are workforce ready. As our nation commemorates America 250, Suffolk Public Schools is proud to honor our country's rich history by engaging students, staff, families, and the community in educational activities that inspire civic pride and celebrate our shared heritage. Our school division has encouraged learning beyond the classroom by sharing America 250 themed social media trivia, historical facts, and interactive community engagement activities designed for students and families to enjoy together. Thank you to everyone who has participated in making America 250 a meaningful and memorable experience for our school community. And lastly, we'd like to highlight the success of the Stronger Together, Healthier Together partnership between Suffolk Public Schools Food and Nutrition Services and the Food Bank of Southeastern Virginia and the Eastern Shore. Through this collaboration, 3 summer community food distribution events are being held at Mack Ben Jr. Elementary School, providing families with access to fresh, nutritious foods while helping to address food insecurity during the summer months. One event was hosted on June 17th, and the 2 others will be held on July 15th and August 12th. These events reflect Suffolk Public Schools' ongoing commitment to supporting the whole child and strengthening our community beyond the classroom. By working alongside our community partners, we continue to ensure that students and families have access to healthy food resources while fostering a stronger, healthier Suffolk. We extend our sincere appreciation to our Food and Nutrition Services staff, the food bank, volunteers, and all who help make these events a success. Together, we are nourishing our schools, supporting our families, and building a healthier community. And that concludes my part of the Good News Report.
Thank you so much, Mr. Bradshaw. At this time, I'm going to call to the podium Mr. Russell Leboff from HES, an executive at HES, who serves as both our and grounds partner, who would like to present our Suffolk Public School Board with a special EIE award for valued partnership with the company. Mr. Leboff.
Thank you, Dr. Gordon. On behalf of HES, I just want to say thank you to the Board of Education, the leadership, and the community that you serve. You are great partners, and I think that has been testified by the fact that you have a Superintendent of the Year. You also have Vernon Jackson, who has received accolades this year. But even greater than that, I think you're building a school system who protects your kids, who provides safe schools, clean schools. I hope you can hear me okay. I just had invisible braces put in, so if that's messing up my speech, I apologize. My kids, I've got 4 kids. They're like, "Why do you need braces, Dad? You're old." I'm like, "Well, old people want straight teeth too." So I have these in. I'm not used to them yet, but I'm getting there. It's been a pleasure to work with you. I know that a couple years ago, I had a conversation here in this room with Dr. Riddick, or not Dr. Riddick, Mr. Riddick, about resourcing versus outsourcing. And really, resourcing is working together with you, working with Vernon and Mr. Napier and Wendy Forsman to make sure that you have a good program, but not take over your program, but to complement what you do and just kind of fill in the gaps. And that's what we do. And we feel like that's gone very well. But we think it's gone very well, not because of us, but because of you. Because you have the willingness to partner, not only with us, but with your community. So we have an award for you, and by the way, we have 180 education partners that we work with, and only 12 have received this award. So what happens is when we recognize the school system doing things right, the leadership working with the community, working with the Board of Education to do what's best for the students, we nominate those school systems, and then we vote on it as a company based on justification that's provided. So we did that with you, and you were selected. And we've only had 12 out of 180 selected during our tenure. So I just want to read this to you. This is an Excellence in Education Partnership Award. It's for 2026, presented to public Suffolk schools, and it's for exemplary partnership culture with staff, leaders, and governing board, community, and supporting partners who provide an excellent student and staff experience every day. Your dedication and commitment to ensuring student and staff success is obvious. It's appreciated. It makes a difference. Thank you, your partner, HES. So we have that for you. We also have a check for $2,500. That can be a Teacher of the Month award. It can be a Student Athlete award, whatever you want to do with it, but that's provided to you from us tonight, just to show appreciation. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Here comes the official one right there. Okay, all right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Liebau. As I transition over to the calendar of special events, for July, our second school board meeting will take place on July 23rd. 6 days later, we have our SPS summer school graduation at 6 o'clock p.m. at Kings Fork High School. The ribbon cutting for the brand new John F. Kennedy Middle School. So excited about this. Will be July 30th at 4 p.m. Ms. Dickens has already started working on the runner show, working along with Ms. Woods, the principal. I can't believe it, but our new teachers will be returning on August 10th, 1 month. In 1 month for our new teacher orientation from the 10th and the 12th. Our August 1st school board meeting will be August 13th, which is also the beginning of our staff development days on the 13th and 14th. Our pre-service week, August 17th to the 21st. And this is going to be the earliest start of school that we've had in SPS history, mainly based on the way that the calendar falls. First day of school will be August 24th, officially about 6 weeks away. Definitely want to thank the Nansemond and congratulate once again the Nansemond River track team, all of those track athletes. That was 21 individuals that were recognized today. I see that we have Ms. Paul, Dr. Cox, Ms. Roundtree, got a lot of people here from Nansemond River. Just so thrilled. I think I was sharing with Mr. McGee, I believe that's their 3rd state championship in 5 years. So to me, that's a true definition of a dynasty. That concludes my calendar of special events, Mr. McGee.
Thank you, Dr. Gordon. Moving on to the consent agenda, is there a motion?
Board Chair, I move to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
All right, motion on the floor was made by Vice Chair Howell, seconded by Board Member Jenkins for approval of the consent agenda. Is there any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk?
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slinglove?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell? Yes. Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, I'm going to turn the floor over to Dr. Gordon for an announcement.
Thank you, Chair McGee. I would like to introduce to the Suffolk Public School Committee and our school board our new Coordinator 2 of Facilities, current principal at John Yates Middle School, Mr. Steve Smith. Mr. Smith has a Bachelor of Arts from Campbell University in Elementary Education, also a Master in Education from Cambridge College in School Administration. Mr. Smith has been with us for a very long time, dating back to 2004. She's been with us about 20 years. I asked Mr. Smith to go ahead and come to the podium to reintroduce himself in his new role. He's going to do some hybrid work for us until we would find his replacement. Please introduce yourself, Mr. Smith, as well as any family members that you may have in attendance.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Gordon. Good evening, School Board Chair McGee, Vice Chair Howell, distinguished members, and of course, Dr. Gordon, our State Superintendent. I am Steve Smith. I am the current principal at John Yates Middle School, and it was 4 short years ago that I stood in front of you all at Colonel Fred Cherry and thanked you all for giving me the opportunity to lead John Yates Middle School as a school principal. Like Dr. Gordon said, I've been with the district since 2004. I had 2 years previous experience in North Carolina before moving back to the area in Chesapeake, where I grew up at Deep Creek. But Suffolk has been my home for the last 23 years now, going into this year, and I want to make the rest of my tenure here in Suffolk Public Schools. So I thank you so much for another opportunity to advance in my career with Suffolk Public Schools. And I knew I have some big shoes to fill with Vernon Jackson, but I'm very fortunate because I'm going to be working alongside of him as he is now the Director of Facilities Planning and Maintenance. And with me tonight, I do have some family members here. I have my wife, Tracy, and my daughters, Evelyn and Sophia. And also, I have my niece and nephew, Dawn and Nathan Roundtree, that both work at Nansemond River High School. And one other thing, I can't accept this role without first saying thank you so much for the principals that I've worked under as an assistant principal, and also under the leadership of Dr. Lee and Dr. Bird and Dr. Branch and Dr. Skinner, and of course you, Dr. Gordon. So thank you so much, and I am excited to start my new role as Coordinator of Facilities Planning and Maintenance. So thank you again.
Congratulations, Mr. Smith, for your new appointment. All right, moving on to unfinished business. There are 2 items that are up for action tonight. I'll take them collectively if there's a motion.
Board Chair, I move to approve items 1 and 2 under unfinished business.
Second.
All right, motion on the floor made by Vice Chair Howell, seconded by Board Member Slinglove to approve items 1 and 2 under unfinished business. Is there any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk?
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slinglove?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell? Yes. Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, moving on to new business. Item 1 is going to be the SPS vision for 2026. At this time, I'm going to turn the floor back over to Superintendent Dr. Gordon.
Thank you, Chair McGee. I'm going to move down to the podium so I can properly present to the board. All right. Chair McGee, Vice Chair Howell, members of the school board, Mr. Waller, and our school community. This is actually always one of my favorite presentations to do every year when we give a chance to be proactive and alert our school community what we're planning based on some of the things that we've seen, feedback that we received from the school board, also, of course, feedback that we received from the school community. So I always like to take the month of July to lay out our entire overview of our plans now for the 26-27 school year. And it's hard for me to even admit that the school year starts in 6 weeks. It feels like we just finished. So I want to continue on some of our conversations that we had last month from our climate and culture presentation that myself and Mr. Dickerson did. Give some highlights. Thank you all for your support for us starting the STEM Middle Years program at John F. Kennedy Middle School and Kings Fork Middle School. The expansion of our extracurricular activities. You all have seen what happens when we invest in our infrastructure for our athletes. This is a large part of the reason why we had over $49 million in scholarships, why we have this dynasty at Nansemond River High School. And it is my request to the school board that $2,500 check that you all just received will go to our middle school baseball and softball program so we can help get that off the ground properly. I know Mr. Kapler hopefully will be happy about that. I want to talk about a big change that I'm recommending to the board, or attendance policy revision, because we got to do something about this chronic absenteeism and the introduction of attendance failures. SOL timeline revisions, we've had some conversations about this. This comes directly from feedback from the General Assembly. And as usual, I always close things out with our SPS facilities and maintenance overview so you all in the school community will know about some of the big projects that we need to fix this summer and a little bit into the fall. So these programs that we're having at John F. Kennedy and Kings Fork Middle School, we want this to be an extension of what we've done with the STEM Academy at Booker T. Washington Elementary School. All of our school board members, you now have had my evaluations. I know they was turned back in today, and I think you all could see the tremendous student achievement growth that occurred at Booker T. Washington Elementary School. And we really believe it's because of some of the things that we've done to incorporate STEM throughout the curriculum. At the middle school level, the first thing that we needed to do that you all already approved was some of the new courses that we're going to have. Then in year 2, we're going to try to phase this in to make it kind of similar to what you're seeing at Booker T. The cohort's going to have about 60 students per school. We had to use the Project Lead the Way curriculum. I want to give a big thank you to Dr. Andre Skinner, Dr. Caitlin Leitner, and Dr. Akima Branch for their work on that. Also, if we didn't have these successful PLTW programs at both Lakeland and Nansemond River, this idea wouldn't have come to fruition. As you all know, those 2 programs have been recognized for being distinguished programs across the country over the last several years. So I wanted to be able to kind of show a picture, sneak peek of kind of what you're going to see on July 30th. This is actually the same room. I try to get both corners in my picture right there. This is the designated space that Ms. Woods has created. This is going to be our maker space that's been designated for our STEM Middle Years program. This is early on. As you can see, we had this picture sent to me about 3 weeks ago because furniture is now starting to arrive. But one of the things that's now kind of been the norm here in SPS is the days of having straight row classrooms are over. I think I said this to you all like in 21 or 22, right? We have to be able to have our classrooms be mobile, be able to move. And when we're going by our classrooms, we also expect to hear noise. Noise in the good form is good active engagement. And it also shows that our kids are having new strategies for mastery because they're actually teaching each other. This is a picture right here at Kings Fork Middle School. You can see some of the 3D printers, some of the robotics equipment that Dr. Foster has sent me. They actually already had a space that was there that was used for some older technology equipment, as I would like to say. But Dr. Skinner and Dr. Foster worked closely hand in hand to be able to kind of clean that space up. We're going to use some of the things that some of our partnerships that we've seen from ODU, but we also are looking at from some of the things we've done in our summer camps that our kids gave us a lot of good feedback about, especially when it comes to robotics. Our kids love robotics, which also helps them with their coding skills. These are the things that are going to allow them to make great money as we're not only producing digital citizens, but we're producing citizens that are actually going to positively give back to the city of Suffolk. As I transition into extracurricular activities, coming to you as a 4-year basketball starter in high school and knowing the importance of having a lot of times kids come to school because of their participation in the extracurricular activities. At the high school level, and I just found this out like literally the day after I met with Mr. McGee and Ms. Howell, Mr. Kabler has started a plan, which is going to be a multi-year plan, to introduce girls flag football. Now, when I talk to some members of my wife's family who live up in Maryland, this is like the fastest growing sport actually in the nation. And we're going to need to figure out exactly when this sport's going to be able to occur, because we're going to serve as one of the pilots. Hope that the Virginia High School League will then see the great interest that we have. Now, my research that Mr. Kabler has done for me, he's let me know that potentially Nansemond River High School already has enough female student interest. They actually may have 2 teams. So we're going to kind of start this out on an intramural level first, right? We got to make sure that everybody understands not only the rules of the game, the safety features and those types of things, but this is something that we think is going to encourage more of our kids to get involved in school. Really excited about this girls flag football program starting here, and Suffolk might be the only one, I think, in this region that's really serious about doing it the right way. Others have started, but doing it the right way. At the middle school level, you all know it's been a huge focus for us. We are changing things up. Our middle schools are going to be happy that they no longer have to play each other 2 and 3 times a year in order to make a full season. The partnership that Mr. Kabler has established with Portsmouth Public Schools, that's where our competition is going to expand to. And so we've talked about the actual athletics part, but because we're specifically talking about extracurricular activities, we're also going to introduce Scholastic Bowl at the middle school level. We are always searching for ways to have our kids get involved in school. And because a lot of our middle school kids believe they're smarter than some of their teachers, they love to debate, we think this is going to be a great way to do it, with some trivia, some fact-finding, and those types of things. And we're going to model this Scholastic Bowl at the middle school level exactly after the way the Scholastic Bowl is done for the Virginia High School League. So this has been a multi-year plan. I know that Ms. Howell has actually had this on her request for the budget for several years. It is finally here. Middle school baseball and softball is going to begin this fall. Let's think September, October window, okay? Now, I do have to be honest and let you all know this is also going to be a multi-year thing, because the infrastructure to get this right is a tremendous overtaking, right? We're talking about the mounds, we're talking about the backstops. We've already, thank you all, have helped us out with HES with some of the field maintenance. We're working on some new MOUs. These are the things that have to happen. So the practices will take place at our middle schools, but our games are actually going to take place at our high schools. So middle school baseball and softball is going to occur in the fall, okay? We're doing it like that to make sure it does not interfere with the high school schedule. Now, some adjustments are going to have to be made. You know, as Mr. McGee will tell you, we have fall ball and some other things that are going on. So we're going to be very, very creative with the schedule. And this is part of the reason why Mr. Kabler and his new assistant are kind of developing some things. This is going to be probably a 2-year phase in order to do it the right way. But this is also a great way to improve our feeder programs for our high school teams. We got some strong middle school folks that have played some travel ball. We got some eager coaches and some partners that we have with some of our youth athletic associations. We think putting that together in the mix will help Suffolk improve tremendously when it comes to baseball and softball. So we provided, Dr. Bird and I have provided, along with Mr. LeBron, Mr. Kabler, a budget. This budget is going to be the phase-in model, because the main thing that we're buying right now is equipment, right? That's the main thing that we have to buy. We will have some uniforms as well. But I just can't reiterate enough, because I know how it is, because people have been asking for this for a long time. I have to say it one more time. Multi-year implementation. Each year will get better. And I can tell you by year 3, I think we're going to be right where we need to be. So some of the questions that the school board had asked of me, and I kind of shared with you guys, that I wanted to make sure that I had the feedback from our department leads as well as the feedback from our principals. I shared some of those things with you all when Mr. Dickerson and I presented this climate and culture data, but now I have more detail, because Dr. Lee and Dr. P. Sean, as well as the members of the superintendent's cabinet, have had a chance to sit down and collaborate after people have had a chance to do some data analysis and study some things. Coming out of that, we noticed and settled on there was 5 clear points of focus, really 5 main things. The first one here is communication. We know that our school division communicates well. This is part of the reason why our communication and community engagement team has won 17 awards, 6 awards of excellence. I've been recognized as a superintendent to watch because of our communication. But one of the things that we did find out that there's some gaps in is the communication routinely scheduled, right? And Are we also ensuring that we're tailoring the communication to best fit the needs of the audience? How did you communicate the schedule to the audience? Some folks like phone calls better. Some folks actually like text messages. You know, the division is actually modeling the way that we would like our schools to do so. And the schools do have designated people within their buildings that are kind of in charge of the communication. It may not always be the principal's voice, but a part of it is definitely centered on standard operating procedures. So as if the principal is out, there's other folks that know how to pick up the slack and continue that routine schedule that we're established. We also know, based on this climate and culture feedback, it comes back to advertising events, right? Each school has signature events that they do every year. And besides those events that are on the calendar, what other events did you know has been successful, has been well attended? You've received positive feedback, right? So we want to ensure that all of our schools have an annual calendar. That also helps us out and helps you all out as school board members because you know when you can expect it, right? You know when it's coming. And once those annual calendars are completed, we're going to ask Ms. Gardner to share it out with the board. This way, when you're getting those invitations, you already had some pre-knowledge that this event was coming. Volunteers, this is a big Dr. Brown thing. And it's something that, you know, Dr. Bird and I have talked about with the assistance from Dr. Lee and Dr. P. Sean. We are still trying to find ways to kind of keep track of our volunteers. Now, we have this count that occurs from people scanning in with the Raptor badges. But we also know that some schools may have 2 clipboards, some schools may have 3, some schools may have 5. So we're trying to figure out a better way. This is kind of a work in progress to be able to track how our volunteer data is kept. This is a metric that Ms. Dickens' team is going to kind of lead because it coincides with our community leadership and partnership programs. Lastly, these are just some basic reminders, right? Last year, one of the things I spoke to our leaders about was doing things with fidelity. Then we also talked about follow-through. I can remember I had a big picture of Steph Curry up on the slides, right? But we also have to ensure that people understand that this follow-through is non-negotiable. So one of the things that we spoke about specifically is the midpoint checkpoints. We're going to make a conscious effort to explain to our school community that investigations take time, right? When we're doing, living in this information age, people want the answer right then. But if you're doing a thorough investigation, it takes time, and sometimes you have to check back. And this, one of the things we want to be able to focus on is letting the folks know this is going to take a little bit longer because we have more people to talk to. There's no reason to share any information if you don't have the complete picture. I'm just kind of using that one as an example. I also spoke about, based on the feedback that people said, some of our staff members, that they wanted to make sure they had the opportunity to grow. That data was pretty good, but they also wanted to make sure that they had an opportunity to have their voices being heard. So I'm calling it an even distribution of face time. We've asked our leaders, don't always choose the same people to do things. It also might be time to kind of switch up members of your leadership team. All of this will eliminate that perception of people having favorites. And it also allows our staff to show off their skills. You all saw from the cohort that Dr. Bird was leading when we had Next Level here last month. Think of all those internal people that were actually there that day that got promoted. And a lot of that stuff kind of started with them being asked to lead a new initiative, having a seat at the table, and actually having their voices being heard. That even distribution of face time, we believe in doing that, is going to shift some of those perceptions and feedback that I shared with you all last month. Now, here's the big one that I got to talk about. And we know that we're going to get some follow-up on this, and we also know we're going to have a whole communication plan to discuss this as we are bringing this. You know, I definitely want to thank the Policy Review Committee for supporting this because this is time sensitive. You see what it says here, how your attendance is not optional. I had this conversation with members of all of our leaders when we had our leadership meeting first because I wanted to get their feedback. This is after I had a chance to talk about it in cabinet. Then I actually spoke about it with Ms. Howell and Mr. McGee and also the Policy Review Committee. One of the things that's the biggest challenge for this school division, the one thing that we can never control is do our kids come to school, right? And because we now know that chronic absenteeism is playing even a larger role in our school performance and support framework and our both accreditation and accountability, this is something that we have to improve. Now, I'm not going to lie and tell you that we're not good, but we could be better, right? So what I'm asking for the board to be able to support when this policy does come to you is to strengthen our policy for attendance. This is found in sections 9-8.1 of our policy manual. I would like to implement attendance failures. And you're only going to be an attendance failure if you are chronically absent for the school year. Now, this means, we have 171, 173. That's kind of been our totals that we've had the last couple of years, right? This means that a student can actually miss a total of 16 days a year and still be okay. To me, that's a lot. To me, that's a lot. And one of the things that we'll continue to reinforce is when our guardians and our families and our parents are submitting letters, the letters allows you to excuse the absence. But all the excused absence allows you to do is make up the work, right? It doesn't mean that the absence doesn't count, because the Virginia Department of Education has made it very clear. You have to be physically present in the seat to count, right? So 17 days a year, that's elementary and middle. At the high school level, because we're on the 4x4 block, we're talking about 9 days a semester. 9 days a semester. Now, some caveats, because we're going to always have support plans in place for our kids. You can earn back time if you attend Saturday Academy. You can earn back 3 hours. If you go to before and after school tutoring, you can earn back 3 hours. Thank you to Christine Lafferty in our technology department who gave me the suggestion, since our school day is about 6.05 hours. So we're basically going to give you an opportunity. Now, when you count this out, this literally means that we have about 9 before and after school tutorings plus Saturday academies per semester. So students will have the opportunity to make up a week. They can make up a week. Now, as a part of the things that we've asked and we've talked about in policy review is Mr. Waller and I are going to work together to develop regulations, because this will not include those folks that have medical exemptions. But we still need to make sure that we have the doctor's note for that. But we're also going to lay out some key points for the expectation of this. We've had schools, in my evaluation I gave you all this year and my evaluation I gave you all last year, if the chronic absenteeism was 1 percentage point less, they would have made it. Now, here's how this breakdown is going to work. At some point in time, I'm also going to talk about tardies, but Mr. Brown's going to fix the bus issues first. And then we also need to talk about parents picking their kids up too early at the elementary level. Part of the reason why we've seen some consistent flatlining in our science scores is because science is usually taught at the end of the day. And we actually have some of our school community members that are picking up kids 30 minutes a day, early, every day, 2.5 hours a week, 10 hours a month. That adds up. And then your kid ends up getting a 379 on the SOL, right? So we're looking at some ways that we're going to be able to work with this when we have the regulations come to the board. Part of the reason why I asked the Policy Review Committee to make this a first read and adoption, because we have to start to communicate this out. The expectations. We've already had all of our themes, how attendance matters within our school division. We've done that. We have shown how the chronic absenteeism itself, how when kids miss days, the impact it doesn't have, that it has on the student, and how many days it takes them to catch up. If a teacher misses a day, a kid can actually fall behind 3 days. If a student misses a day consistently, it could actually be more. So we think that putting this part in here, and I have experience with this because I did this as a high school principal in Fredericksburg for 5 years, and our attendance rate jumped 4 percentage points in 1 year. In 1 year because of that. So this attendance policy revision is going to be a huge change, but we think is necessary because chronic absenteeism plays an even larger role for our schools when it comes to accreditation and accountability. I think you all have been paying attention to the SOL revisions, right? SOL testing for 26-27 will be the last 2 weeks of school. This is new. Now, there are some pros and cons to this. The pro is the teachers will have more time before the first administration. Ideally, if it was a full year, we're actually asking our teachers to kind of get through the material in about 28 weeks. So now they have about 30, maybe 31, depending on how the calendar falls. The con of this, however, is we've always had time after that first test because not all of our kids passed their SOLs the first go-around. So the con of this is now there's less time for remediation for those expedited retakes. So Dr. Branch will be working with Crystal Taylor, she'll be working with Dr. Pichon, she'll be working with Sean Dickerson, Dr. Lee, Dr. Bird, all of us going to have our hands in this because we have to make adjustments within the schedule. And those adjustments also will include when we expect for our quarterly assessments to occur. plus or minus 1 day. Because if you're following your pacing guides correctly, that really shouldn't be a challenge. Now, we've also heard the stories and the tales that you've seen for those of you all that have kids in the school division, and just based on experience since SOL started in the 1997-98. What do you do after the SOLs are done? Now, even though we're pushing things back a couple of weeks, there's still going to be some days at the end because you have to stagger when the tests are occurring. So it's going to be our goal to kind of do what we've done in the past with our bridge program over the summer. Let's introduce some lessons for the next course in the sequence, right? Earth science folks, introduce some biology, algebra 1 to geometry to algebra 2, world 1 to world 2, right? These are some of the things that we want to be able to do so that at least the kids will have something constructive that they'll be happy in class. Or, because I always believe in giving our teachers and our instructional staff options, you also could potentially have a culminating activity or project that you've been working on all year. And when that SOL is done, that's when the presentations are occurring, right? We don't want to wait and start that part at the end of the year because some of our kids might be fatigued, right? But we also want to have opportunities for them to touch it throughout the year or touch it throughout the semester, because those culminating activities or projects, generally our teachers use those as test grades. So this is something that we want to be able to do, and I know it's going to be a big adjustment. Like, we know this from the beginning. This is part of the reason why we asked for this first reading and adoption, so we can start this campaign, give 6 weeks notice. And realistically, ladies and gentlemen, we shouldn't see an issue on this until hopefully late October, early November, because no one's going to be missing 17 days of school to start the school year out. Hopefully, right? So these are some of the things we think is going to be a missing piece that will allow some of our schools to take the next step from becoming off track to on track to distinguished, and distinguished getting closer to 100. Last thing I want to talk to you all about is our SPS facilities and maintenance overview. This is things that we have to focus on every year. When you look at how our school year is actually set up, the month of July is there to start cleaning schools and fixing stuff, right? We've already talked about the JFK ribbon cutting on the 30th at 4 o'clock. Northern Shores, the elementary gym floor replacement, Mr. Napier on one of his last things he talked about, Mr. Jackson's picked up. That gym floor replacement's already started there. Elephants Fork Elementary site review. I'm asking the city to kind of pick up the pace some on that. Nansemond River High School parking lot expansion. Thank you, Ms. Jenkins, for all your advocacy of going out there. Thank you for Dr. Green for creating this plan. That work is starting. I've asked the city manager, Mr. Hughes, to have that work completed by the week of August 10th. That way we have a little 2-week buffer. Then we're going to talk about the actual public safety committee that I'm a part of, police chief, fire chief, and everything that's led by the mayor. Those speeding tickets that people have received in the city of Suffolk, I want to say thank you. I actually paid one today. I got one today. Okay, I paid one today. But that money itself is now going to be used, right? We had to have some spending that had to occur. Thank you to the committee because they supported my request to put new cameras on all of our buses. New cameras on all of our buses. Also, new mobile AEDs for our extracurricular activities instead of us having folks kind of take them off the wall. This will help our trainers out and our staff. We will have more of those, especially because we're expanding our extracurricular activities. And Dr. Brown put the request in to have more metal detectors. You never have enough. This also means that some of those metal detectors can stay more stationary because at times we've had to move them from inside the building to the football stadium as an example. Now, some additional priorities. We've talked about this for a couple of times. Thank you to Mr. Anthony Moran, our new CFO, for making this happen. We got new curtains at Kings Fork Middle School. Only in the back. Because we couldn't afford to do the whole thing, but at least some of the ones that were a little bit more damaged. Mr. LeBron, this is one of the first things that he wanted to focus on when he took over as CFO. Painting has also started at Hill Point Elementary School and the tennis court replacement that we're having at all 3 of our high schools. I want to thank our spring sports and our tennis teams last year for being flexible. I want to thank the city manager and Parks and Recreation for working with Mr. Kabler. We use recreation centers. We use any open tennis court we could actually find. And it just wasn't safe for our 3 high schools to play on them. We couldn't repair things any longer. And as I've shared with you all in the past, you can't do repairs on a tennis court unless the temperature is 60 degrees or more. So I want to show you all this video right here. Thank you to Communication and Community Engagement. Using the drone, Mr. Thomas, Mr. Chirac flies, give you a Northern Shores Elementary School construction update. So the mobile units will be going away. That's the expansion right there, including new cafeteria expansion as well. I took that from the social media posts that community engagement went out. I wanted to make sure that you all had a chance to see that. I also had Mr. Napier, Mr. Jackson take me into JFK. I just love seeing this right here. This is in the lobby when you first walk in. I love that quote from President Kennedy, every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. And it took a long time for us to get this building done, including $21.6 million raised by the school division to get this building done. But it is beautiful. And everyone will get an opportunity to see that on July 30th. This kind of goes back to what I was mentioning earlier, that Ms. Jenkins, with the assistance from Councilwoman Wright, Mr. Hughes and his planning team, Dr. Green, this is his design. This is his entire plan, where we're basically widening the lanes turning in right there off of Sleepy Hole Road. One of the things that Dr. Green noticed is because we only had one lane, there was no way to separate those folks that were doing parent drop-off versus those folks that were going to park. So we're going to widen the lane right there closer to the stadium so that once you pull into the campus of Nansemond River High School, you turn left if you're going to go ahead and go park, and you keep going straight if you're going to do parent drop-off. We also know this will improve the total amount of distance because there's less cars in the line, which will then also help to alleviate the backup that you see on Sleepy Hole Road. Definitely, once again, I want to thank Dr. Green for his vision and being able to let us know about this before we had additional issues, especially when it comes to in the morning. The last slide I wanted to show you all, as you saw at the bottom of many of my prior slides, you're seeing this hashtag up there on Path to Achievement. That's going to be our theme for 26, 27. And we want to be able to reinforce to our students there are so many paths that you can take to be successful and to achieve in Suffolk Public Schools. You can see the biggest one is academics, because that's what we're all about. But you can see athletics, you can see extracurricular activities, you see employment, right? This is part of our E3 model. Remember, we have kids that are coming out with like the partnership and the work that Dr. Skinner did at CCAP, kid coming fresh out of high school with $88,000 at 18 years old, right? Volunteering, I spoke to you all about that. Always looking to improve our partnerships and to expand those. Suffolk Public Schools is now officially known as the School Division of Innovation. Like, people copy us. I love that, right? We're doing some great work there. From the work that Dr. Bird has done, the entire team of innovation and leadership, and not only as a part of our Celebrating America 250, you all see a graduation when our principals are having people stand that are going into the armed services. That's also part of our E3 model with enlistment. Community again, and the last one is all about the respect. And I always want to be able to talk about that, not only from what the climate and culture data says about kids respecting teachers, kids respecting each other. It's also about us making sure that we model that as the leaders of this school division. People watch what we do, right? People watch what we do. And if we're modeling that level of respect, since this is going to be a focus for us, right? Our kids are saying that. We need to be able to help our parents and to help our kids understand that the respect piece is going to be the main thing that helps to open the doors and to get them where they want to go. So with that, Mr. McGee, that's my vision for 2026. At this time, I will open it up to if the board members have any questions.
Thank you, Dr. Gordon. Great presentation. Does anyone have any questions or comments for the superintendent, Dr. Brittenham?
Let me just say I'm really excited about what you presented tonight. There's so much of this presentation that just really tickled my ears and made me really excited. I first just want to ask a couple questions about the absentee initiative. I really like what you are proposing, and I feel like it's an area that we definitely can grow in. I'm curious about that makeup time because we know it's hard when a child misses time in the class and let's say they can't make it to that first Saturday academy, they have to wait for another one, or they can't do after-school tutoring, you know, back to back from being absent and coming back. How are we going to make sure that time is actually made up, like it's productive? They're actually going to be able to make that time up. It's not just checking a box.
Sure. So for before and after school tutoring, they are actually choosing the subject area they want to work in. And many times it might be their own teacher, right? And a lot of times when Dr. Lee and Dr. Pichon give us the list, we basically have a list of teachers to cover every subject, every grade level. And it's going to be an extra lift on us because we also have to be able to document the time that they're there. Saturday Academy is a little different because when they sign up for Saturday Academy, one of the drop downs is letting you know which subject you want to work on, okay? And so the documentation is going to be key. This helps us because of the seat time hours. If it's 9:90 or 1:40, that's going to be our goal. But we also know that them going there, more than likely if a kid is chronically absent, they're probably struggling on something. Struggling on something. So this is going to be year one of us doing that. There might be some tweaks along the way, Dr. Brittingham, but based on the experiences I had as a principal for 5 years, it was jam-packed because the students understood that we weren't going to be flexible on waiving the fact that you are an attendance failure. And why do all the work if you don't have the seat hours to confirm that you've earned that credit?
That's right. The other thing I just wanted to comment on was towards the end of the presentation. Let me see here. The maintenance overview and the things that you are talking about, putting in place for school safety priorities. I'm very excited to see those things being put into place. Excited to see the pictures of the additions happening with Northern Shores. That is, you know, that was one of the first things that I was part of voting on when I came onto the board in 23, and so it's really good to see that. I know I've been part of what's going on with JFK, but I know I wasn't here when that ball started rolling. I'm just excited about that as well, Dr. Gordon, to see that come to fruition. But I like your presentation. I like the vision that you have laid out. Thank you for taking the time to do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Brittingham. Any other board member? Ms. Jenkins?
Just quick, I just want to say thank you to you and your team for putting this together and having the vision, and we're seeing it come to fruition. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good job, Dr. Gordon. Yeah, you know, just as a leader, one thing I do value about you and I look up to is you are a great visionist. And I think that distinguishes and, you know, separates a lot of mediocre organizations from great organizations. Having a leader that sets out a vision, you know, it really says a lot about your leadership, and I value that. So thanks. Great presentation tonight.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to move on to item number 2, payments of bills and payroll.
Board Chair, I move to approve the payment of bills and payroll for June 2026.
Second.
All right, motion on the floor made by Vice Chair Howell to approve the bills and payroll, seconded by Board Member Jenkins. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingluff?
No.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Moving on to item 3, is there a motion?
I move to approve the Citizen Advisory Committee list for membership 26-27.
Second.
All right, motion on the floor made by Vice Chair Howell was to approve item number 3, seconded by Dr. Brittingham. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingluff?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, for item number 4, typically, this is something we do at our January meeting, but this is something the board changed last year to do in July, to appoint a standing committee for the legislative committee. And, you know, after talking to board members, my recommendation, if there's a motion, would be to appoint Board Member Fields, Board Member Jenkins, and Vice Chair Heather Hell for that committee, and making myself an alternate.
Board Chair, I move to approve your recommendations.
Second.
All right, so the motion on the floor made by Vice Chair Howell is to appoint Board Member Jenkins, Board Member Fields, Vice Chair Howell, and myself as an alternate to the Legislative Committee, seconded by Board Member Jenkins. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk?
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields? Yes. Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingluff?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, moving on to item 5, is there a motion to approve the reappropriation of year-end surplus?
Board Chair, I move to approve the reappropriation of year-end surplus and subsequently the memo to City Council.
Second.
All right, motion was made by Vice Chair Heather Howell to approve, seconded by Board Member Jenkins. Is there any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk?
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingluff?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Moving on to item 6, Resolution 2627-1. Is there a motion?
Board Chair, I move to approve the resolution approving the terms and conditions of the MOU between the Suffolk City School Board and Opportunity Scholars.
Second.
All right, motion was made by Vice Chair Howell to approve, seconded by Board Member Fields. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk?
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingluff?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, our next item is Resolution 2627-2. This is a resolution to recognize and nominate our outstanding board clerk, Ms. Tasha Gardner, and submit a package for her to the VSBA, Virginia School Board Association, to nominate her as the board clerk of the year across Virginia. So at this time, I'm going to either ask Board Member Jenkins or Vice Chair Howell, would you like to speak on this or read the resolution?
I'll read it and then you can speak if you want. A resolution of the school board for the city of Suffolk, Virginia, expressing its desire to nominate Tarshale Gardner as the Virginia School Board Association Clerk of the Year. Whereas on November 14th, 2019, Tarsha Gardner, Clerk Gardner, was appointed to serve as the clerk of the Suffolk City School Board. And whereas throughout her tenure, Clerk Gardner has served with distinction, unwavering commitment, professionalism, and dedication in her support of the school board, its operations and governance. And whereas Clerk Gardner has maintained accurate records of all meetings and proceedings of the school board, including all official acts of the school board. And whereas, in addition to her assigned duties and responsibilities, Clerk Gardner has always been willing to perform such other duties to assist in ensuring the operation of Suffolk Public Schools continue to serve the needs of its students, parents, and community. And whereas Clerk Gardner maintains frequent contact with the public, including parents, employees, and the media, on behalf of the school board and superintendent, and does so with exceptional professionalism and dedication. Be it therefore resolved that the school board for the city of Suffolk expresses its desire to nominate Tarshale Gardner as the Virginia School Board Association Clerk of the Year.
At this time, Ms. Gordon, we have a little presentation we want to give you. And what I'm going to ask, if we could the entire board, including Attorney Waller and Dr. Gordon, can we go down to the front for a photo? All right, now that that resolution was read, is there a motion?
Board Chair, I move to approve the resolution.
Second.
All right, motion was made by Vice Chair Heather Howell for approval, duly seconded by Board Member Jenkins and Board Member Fields. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slinglove?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Awesome. Moving on to item 8, this was the policy the PRC moved for info action. First read tonight that Superintendent Dr. Gordon just spoke about for attendance.
Board Chair, I move that we approve this to allow time for communication and adjustment before the school starts.
Second.
All right, motion was made by Vice Chair Howell for approval, seconded by Board Member Fields. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slinglove?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Item 9 and 10, they're info only. These are first reads from policy review. If there's no discussion for these items, we'll move on to public speakers or non-agenda. All right, being none, we're going to finish new business and move on to public speakers on non-agenda topics.
It is the intent of the school board to ensure that the affairs of the board be conducted in an open and orderly manner, that all persons desiring to address the board are afforded an opportunity to do so in the order in which they sign up to speak, that persons in attendance may observe and hear the proceedings of the board without distraction, and that the members of the board and board employees are able to transact the business of the board with minimal disruption. Any persons addressing the board shall, 1, confine their comments to matters germane to services, policies, and affairs of the school board or Suffolk Public Schools. 2, refrain from words or statements which from their usual construction and common acceptance are construed as insults and tend to incite violence or breach of the peace. 3, refrain from obscenity, vulgarity, or other breach of respect. 4, comply with the time limit for public comment as set by the board, which can be up to 5 minutes, unless the board, through the exercise of its discretion, decides to allow less than 5 minutes for public comment. 5, refrain from cumulative or repetitive remarks. And 6, refrain from making any comment regarding any pending student discipline or employee grievance matters. The appropriate form for such matters is the applicable administrative hearing provided by state law, or where appropriate, court proceeding. Persons must not engage in disorderly, disruptive, or boisterous conduct, such as, but not limited to, making noise, use of profane language or obscene gestures, yelling, or similar demonstrations that interrupts or disturbs the peace and good order of the meeting. Persons addressing the board may deliver to the board or its clerk written materials including reports, statements, exhibits, letters, or signed petitions, and may also make use of any chart or graph during their verbal presentation. The school board welcomes comments from the public as appropriate. Board members will listen to public comment but will not comment, deliberate, or take action on them. The school board chair may direct the superintendent to investigate items and report back to the school board at a subsequent meeting. The chair or other presiding officer shall preserve decorum and shall decide all questions of public order subject to appeal to the board. At the request of the chair, a city police officer shall act as sergeant-at-arms at tonight's board meeting. That officer shall, under the direction of the chair or other presiding officer, have charge of the meeting area, the waiting areas, and corridors adjacent thereto, and shall prevent disorder or interruption of the business of the board. Our first speaker is Karima Lockwood regarding Policy Revision 3-1.1-1.2, 4.6.1-6.2.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Madam Vice Chair, and members of the board. My name is Karima Lockwood. I am a resident of Chuckatuck Borough and a parent of children that are currently attending the Suffolk Public Schools. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak with you tonight. Last week, there was a policy committee meeting where they reviewed policy revisions to several of the policies that govern the superintendent's role and his authority, and I wanted to share some of my analysis of those policies with the full board before further action is taken. One of the board's most important responsibilities is adopting policy. Good policy establishes clarity, it establishes accountability, and creates consistency that should outlast any one superintendent and any one school board. And that's kind of the framework that I used in reviewing the proposed policies. Several of the policy revisions actually strengthen governance from what I can tell. We're modernizing some outdated language, aligning policy with the current Virginia Department of Education standards, requiring some more financial reporting, and adding clarity and accountability without changing how authority is currently being exercised. Several other narrow responsibilities the superintendent traditionally has carried out. Superintendents routinely explain school budgets, answer legislative questions, meet with state officials, work with city leadership, explain board actions and communication with the public on behalf of the school division. Those responsibilities are not policy making. They're how the board policy actually gets implemented. If those responsibilities are removed from the policy, it becomes less clear how the board should hold, or who the board should hold accountable for those responsibilities. If those duties remain the responsibility of the superintendent, what governance purpose is gained by removing them from the policy that defines the superintendent's role? The board's attorney also notes that there are several revisions that may conflict with existing Board of Education regulations, including the superintendent's supervisory responsibilities and required professional development. Additionally, narrowing the child safety certification only to contractors with direct student contact actually pulls back some of the protections that our broader policy already covers. So that means less protection for our children under the revisions. And in my assessment, those are not my conclusions, but they're actually what council has already pulled out of here. And I'd like for those considerations to be resolved before any further action is adopted under these revisions. A few of the other revisions have a related problem. So they introduce new standards that aren't really well defined. One section of the revision limits purchasing authority for anything that may be reasonably perceived as sensitive or political or related to policy development. Again, the board's own legal counsel called the phrases kind of vague, not capable of being administered, and the policy doesn't say who decides whether a purchase fits it or even how. The purpose of policy is to reduce the ambiguity, not create it. So it looks like we're maybe moving a little bit in the wrong direction there. Whether it's a duty being removed here or a standard that's being left undefined or the language that may conflict with current regulation, the effect on the board's oversight seems to be clear and the same. The line between what the superintendent is accountable for and what he's not is getting unclear. Before adoption, I would ask that the board would consider two things. First, what specific problem are these changes meant to solve for? Second, has each one of the revisions been checked against regulation and code based on, what council has already identified? Thank you for the time.
Our next speaker, Dr. Wendy Van Hosen, regarding policy.
Good evening. Members of the Suffolk City School Board, Dr. Gordon, Chairman McGee, Vice Chair, and all who are present here and those who are watching from home. My name is Dr. Wendy Van Hosen, and I reside in the Holland Holy Neck Borough of our wonderful city. I'm retired from Suffolk Public Schools after serving in several capacities during my 19 years of my career. I began my career at Suffolk Public Schools as a teacher at John F. In 2010, made my way to Kings Fork as an administrator in 2011, and eventually made my way to John Yates as principal, which is where I spent my time before retiring. And in addition to that, I'm the mother of 3 sons who have matriculated through Suffolk Public Schools. They all graduated, and they're all now college graduates. So with many years of experience as a former teacher and administrator of Suffolk Public Schools and as a parent, I stand before you this evening to articulate my thoughts on particular school board policies that are being reviewed. During the recent Policy Review Committee meeting held on June 29th, it was noted that there is a request for several policies to be reviewed. One such policy is Section 3, 1.2, regarding the duties of the superintendent. As this and other policies are being reviewed, I ask the board to refer to the language of Virginia Department of Education, Regulation 8 VAC 20-390-90. This regulation says that the division superintendent shall see to it that teachers discharge faithfully the duties assigned to them, and any neglect or violation by any teacher of any of the laws or regulations shall be promptly reported to the school board with recommendations for appropriate action. I believe that the regulations language stating that the superintendent shall see to it that teachers discharge faithfully the duties assigned to them affirms the language written in Suffolk Public Schools' current policy, stating that the superintendent is responsible for the direction, leadership, and coordination of students and staff in their efforts to reach educational goals adopted by the school board. The superintendent is the educational leader of our school division. To suggest anything differently would be in contradiction to the intentions of the regulations written by the Virginia Department of Education. This is also evident in the language of our surrounding public school systems, who identify the superintendent as the educational leader who provides direction for each respective school system. Time does not permit me to share my thoughts on the other policy revisions that are being reviewed, but I ask that the board and all who are concerned consider the implications that any policy change has on all students and on all teachers, not just some students and not just some teachers. Any policy changes that are based on any agenda that ultimately strips leaders of their ability to provide guidance within the boundaries outlined in the state regulations will become a faulty policy. Our teachers' ability to be exceptional teachers begins with the entire board's ability to recognize the exceptional leadership and direction that we have. We have the Superintendent of the Year for the entire state of Virginia. Lastly, disagreement on issues does not mean we dismantle the whole system. Public schools have value, so even when there is disagreement on how we gain the best outcomes from teaching and learning, we must come together on these few things, the main things: that every student has potential and value, and that every teacher needs support, and that teachers and students are better with the collaboration of parents and community leaders, and with a board who can come together for the benefit of students. Thank you.
There are no more speakers.
Thank you to our public speakers. All right, next item is business by board members. And before we start, just a quick reminder, we still have a couple of items to deal with in closed session. So I'm going to start this evening from my right with Board Member Singlove.
Thank you, Board Chair McGee. First of all, I would like to make a few comments to Dr. Gordon for his vision that he shared tonight. I too was really excited about several of the things that were mentioned there. I'm eager to see how it fleshes out with the change and the timing for the SOLs as well. I'm sure that there are a lot of teachers that will be a little pensive about it, but also there will be many that will be embracing that because that could offset some of the challenges that they face at the end of the year. So thank you for presenting that. It was an excellent presentation. I had the privilege back at the end of June to go to South Carolina for a training with the school board, School Boards for Academic Excellence, and it was a fantastic 3-day training. We covered many, many topics, some things that I'll be able to disseminate to my fellow colleagues, fellow board members here in the weeks to come. But we discussed smart strategic planning, best practices for overseeing the district's financial health, which was very informative as well. We went through some parliamentary procedure, which is always applicable to understand governance, how to operate at a meeting. Attorney board relations, how knowledge-rich curriculum drives achievement. I found that to be really, really exciting to hear what they presented on that. Also, we discussed parental engagement and professional development and restoring respect through effective discipline. So there were many little tidbits that I gleaned during this training. I'm eager to put together some summaries for you all to pass it on to share. It was definitely worth the value, so I thank you all for allowing me to attend that training.
Thank you. Dr. Brittingham.
Thank you, Board Chair. I too was able to go to the same board training that Board Member Slingloff is talking about. But I also want to just take a moment to once again thank Dr. Gordon for the vision presentation he gave us today and echo the comment about the SOLs. That I know that the teachers will be very excited of that proposed planning, and ideally that there's not any of that downtime, that we're going to have some very intentional planning going on, preparing students for the year that's coming up. So, so the board conference that I went to brought together school board members from across the nation, creating a meaningful network of like-minded reformers committed to academic excellence, parental rights, and student-centered governance. Throughout the conference, we were equipped with proven practical solutions designed to strengthen local school boards' leadership and improve outcomes for students. So the thing that I like the most about this organization is student achievement, student-centered in all of its outcomes. The conference also provided valuable opportunities to connect with fellow board members and educational leaders who share a clear commitment to serving students and strengthening public education. In addition, the attendees had the opportunity to engage directly with national educational reform leaders and organizations advancing meaningful change, including the Johns Hopkins University Institute for Educational Policy, the American Enterprise Institute, the Freedom Foundation, Defending Education, and so many more. And we had a lot of vendors that were there too that we were able to engage with and interact with. So really wonderful. Each session was intentionally designed to provide practical resources, strategic guidance, and direct support for school board members working to advance local reform. The atmosphere was both engaging and encouraging and offered clear direction on how board members can develop effective plans that lead to measurable improvements in their divisions. This is a nonprofit organization, and they just brought together a lot of resources from across the nation, and I know that Board Member Slingloff and I really enjoyed the training that it provided us, and we both look forward to being able to bring to the board our experiences and some of the information that was shared with us. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Board Member Fields.
That does sound like a really informative session that you went to. I wish you could have. I look forward to the information that you will be sharing with us. I'd like to say congratulations to the GED graduates that were shared from the Good News Report. But I want to say to them that their success is a testament that you will achieve a goal if you don't quit. So congratulations for what they've done. I am excited about the scheduled opening of the John F. Kennedy Middle School on July 30th. This opening is another realization of a project that has been planned for many, many years, and it's finally happening. I keep coming back to the phrase, "It's about to go down." It's really exciting, and I plan to be there, and I can't wait. I'd like to say thanks to HES for the Excellence in Education Awards and generous $2,500 monetary award that they gave us. Our goal is to exceed the expectations of our partnership. Thank you again. I'd like to say to Dr. Gordon, thanks for that vision report, the 2026 vision report. It sounds like there are plans for activities and programs that will meet the diverse needs of the diverse interest of all of our students. So that was really, really impressive, and I can't wait to see it unfolding. And I plan to be at every game that I can be at and every activity that the students participate in. I want to be there to be the witness. So I'm excited about that. Another thing is the opening of I just want to say something to the public about the opening of our downtown Suffolk Library. I was there to witness that opening, and it was really something to experience. I just encourage parents to take your earlier years children to the library because there's something there for them. Middle schoolers, high schoolers, there's something there for you. That library is impressive. I enjoy going in there. I even got a library card for the first time. So I'm excited about being able to use that. That's a great addition to the Suffolk community, and I think it will add significant value to what we as Suffolkians are able to accomplish in our community. That's all I have. I just want to say thank you to the school board for all that we're doing when we work together for the good of our community.
Thank you, Ms. Fields. Board Member Jenkins.
Thank you. I just want to congratulate everyone who was recognized and honored this evening. Your hard work, dedication, and commitment are truly appreciated as well deserved. Job well done. And to Ms. Gardner, your recognition comes as no surprise. Your professionalism, dedication, and unwavering commitment to excellence and to make this honor well deserved. Thank you for all that you do. And I want to piggyback about the library. We were there together. We were 5 years old at the new library, and here is my library card that I got, and it's people, it's for everybody, so make sure that you go. I hope everyone has had a safe and enjoyable, relaxing summer thus far, and I wish you all continued safe and blessings as the season continues. As we prepare for our new year, I encourage everyone to take our upcoming attendance and absentee policy seriously. As a proud graduate of Suffolk Public Schools and as a parent of 3 daughters and a granddaughter who now goes to Suffolk Public School, when I attended school, being absent, not going to school, staying in the bed, playing your games was not an option. We went to school because it only enhances you, and it helps the school district as well. And so make it your business to go to school. Don't let your kids tell you they don't want to go to school. They have to go to school to learn and to grow. It was an honor and a privilege. And finally, thank you, Dr. Gordon, and to your entire leadership team. Your continued dedication, hard work, and your commitment preparing for another successful school year. Your efforts are sincerely appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair Howell.
If you would just permit me for a moment, I want to speak about Ms. Gardner. I know that you guys think you can imagine all she's done based on our words and what we're nominating for, but she has literally been oftentimes the post that held me up for the past 4.5 years now, almost 5. I've described her as a security blanket. I don't want to say she's my right hand. I'm hers because she's the one steering the ship oftentimes with us. So whatever you think you might know about her, multiply that times 10. She is a master tasker. If I could, I would just read the nomination letter, but she'll get a copy. So if she wants to share that, she can. You can't imagine the value she holds to this school board. And so I just want to emphasize that. You guys are, probably nodding and clapping. You can't imagine how valuable she is. I also want to borrow something from Dr. Gordon's vision slideshow. It just caught me, the quote at JFK. Every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. And that is so true, and I want our high school graduates to know that, and the kids that are going to be returning to our schools in just 6 short weeks, and my own kids, my son going to tech in 5 short weeks, and our kids starting new jobs, and families that are overwhelmed by what last year held for them and are making changes this year. It is true. Accomplishment begins with a decision to try. And 5 years ago, maybe, about this time, I decided to try to run for school board. And I was scared to death. And I never imagined I'd ever be the vice chair because I truly just wanted to sit off to the side very quietly and contribute in a very quiet way. And obviously that's not how it turned out. But if we all just take that quote from the plaque at JFK and just let it motivate you when you are just exhausted, when you're completely lost, when you don't know where the next step should be, pick one, try it. It will likely lead you to the next right step. With that, I wish you all a good evening. Enjoy the rest of your summer. Drag your feet so it goes slow, and I will see you in 2 weeks.
Thank you, Vice Chair Howell. I'm going to yield my time back since we have some other business to get to. So moving on, is there a motion to go in a closed meeting, or a motion is needed to go in a closed meeting?
A motion is needed to go into a closed meeting to discuss the following items and subjects pursuant to the Virginia Freedom of Information Act, found in Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711. Number 1, the discussion and/or consideration of an appeal to the full school board as requested by an employee in the Transportation Department who is being recommended for dismissal by the school superintendent. And number 2, the discussion and/or consideration of the appointment of Darlene Zambrowski and Diane Hoffler Foster to serve on the Gifted Education Advisory Committee, and Chili Nicholson to serve on the Local Advisory Committee for Special Education, which is authorized by Virginia Freedom of Information Act, found at Virginia Code Section 2.2-3711A1.
Board Chair, I move that we go into a closed meeting.
Second.
All right, motion on the floor is made by Vice Chair Howell to go into closed meeting, seconded by Board Member Singleff. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingluff?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, we will be in recess and closed meeting. A reminder to board members, please no electronics except for your school-issued laptop. All right, I call this meeting back to order. Certification of closed meeting is needed.
Resolution of certification of the closed meeting of July 9th, 2026 pursuant to Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia, whereas the School Board of the City of Suffolk convened a closed meeting on this date pursuant to an affirmative recorded vote and in accordance with the provisions of the Virginia Freedom of Information Act. And whereas Section 2.2-3712 of the Code of Virginia requires a certification by the school board that such closed meeting was conducted in conformity with Virginia law. Now therefore be it resolved that the school board of the City of Suffolk hereby certifies that to the best of each member's knowledge, number one, only business matters lawfully exempted from open meeting requirements by Virginia law were discussed in the closed meeting to which this resolution of certification applies. And number two, only such public business matters as were identified in the motion convening the closed meeting were heard, discussed, or considered by the school board of the City of Suffolk.
Is there a motion?
Board Chair, I move to certify the results of the closed meeting.
Second.
Motion was made by Vice Chair Howell, seconded by Board Member Singleff. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingleff?
Yes.
Vice Chair McGee? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes, ma'am.
Motion passed.
All right, is there a motion on the first close item action?
Board Chair, I move that we uphold the decision of the superintendent.
Second.
All right, motion was made by Vice Chair Howell, seconded by Dr. Brittingham to uphold the recommendation of the superintendent. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingleff?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
Moving on to the second item under closed meeting, is there a motion?
I move that for the late appointment of Darlene Skaborski and Dwayne Hoffler Foster to serve on the Gifted Education Advisory Committee, and Shalia Nicholson to serve on the Local Advisory Committee for Special Education.
Second.
All right, motion was made by Board Member Fields to approve, seconded by Vice Chair Howell. Any discussion? Being none, Madam Clerk.
Board members, please vote. Board Member Dr. Brittingham?
Yes.
Board Member Fields?
Yes.
Board Member Jenkins?
Yes.
Board Member Slingleff?
Yes.
Vice Chair Howell?
Yes.
Board Chair McGee?
Yes.
Motion passed.
All right, we have a few information items on the agenda for you guys to take a look at. With that being said, this meeting is adjourned. 59, man.